How many goals have you wanted to do in your life but failed to hit the mark? If you started a task with tons of enthusiasm and drive, but then fallen short, this guide is going to be perfect for you. The reason most people don't hit the achievements they want is simply they don't have an effective plan of attack for their goals. The number one thing that people do wrong. You want to know the first thing people do that completely ruins their chance of success. This one mistake so many people make that holds them back from really crushing their goals. They set a goal they have no control over. They simply set a goal they can't control. They leave up to chance. You see it in so many people's goals. I will make £2,000 a month, I'm going to lose £10, or I'll have 10,000 visitors to my blog. Are these results possible? Yes, definitely. But the most important thing that you need to do is change the goalposts. You need to make them a target you have complete control over. Instead of, I'm going to lose £10, your goal should be, I'm going to go running 5 times a week, or I'm only going to eat one unhealthy meal a week. Do you see the difference? These goals are completely in your control, and the end result will still be what your aim is. How to set goals and crush them effectively using the SMART method. The SMART method for goal setting consists of 5 targets you need to have for every goal. It needs to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's start with specific. Make your goal as specific as you can. When making your goal specific, think about what exactly it is you want to achieve. What do you need to do exactly to achieve your goal? If your goal isn't specific enough, you'll end up going off on tangents. You may start taking tasks you think are useful, but really have no relevance to your end goal. Remember, the more exact you are, the more specific your goal will be. Measurable. How measurable is your goal? Make sure you have quantitative measurements rather than qualitative measurements. You want numbers that are consistently measurable. For example, being happier is not an effective measurement. How can you measure happiness? But measuring the number of hours you've cut from your working life, therefore increasing your quality of life is. So aim for goals that have clear measurability. Attainable. This one is a bit of a fine line. You need to make sure your goal is something you're definitely capable of, while at the same time making sure you're not pushing yourself so hard that you will lose motivation and quit before your goal is complete. If you have to, aim for something that's easier rather than harder. And as you progress, begin to make your goal more and more challenging. Think of attainability as your carrot on a stick. You always want your goal just within reach. Relevant. Is this goal something that you want to do? Don't set a goal just because you think it will make somebody else happy. Make sure the goal is relevant to what you truly want. And also, make sure the task you are doing is relevant to completing your goal. Is running 5 times a week relevant to losing weight? Is writing more blog posts a month relevant to getting more visitors? Yes. Keep your goals relevant to what you want. If your goals aren't relevant, change them and change them quickly. Time bound. Make sure you have a time frame in which your goal must be completed. If your goal doesn't have an end date, then you may lose motivation because you have no sense of urgency to push yourself. Just like attainability, you walk a fine line. Make sure you give yourself enough time to complete your goal, but not too much time that you have no sense of urgency. And remember, the bigger the goal, the bigger the time span. If you have a huge goal you need to complete, break it down into smaller, more manageable goals with smaller time spans that you can achieve quicker. This will keep your motivation high. And always remember why you are doing something. You need to make sure you know exactly why it is you want to achieve your goals. When thinking about your why, a good trick is this. If you had to explain to somebody else why you have your goal, what would you say to convince them that this is something that is worth doing? Your why is so important, so don't overlook it like a lot of other people do. Just like if you don't set goals that you are in control of, if you don't know your why, your chance of success gets smaller and smaller as you lose your sense of motivation. And always use words that are certain instead of words that are maybes. For example, you should say I will do this, not I would like to do this. When you say words that are certain, it makes it more real in your own mind. And also, keep your goal written down somewhere where you can see it over and over again. When you write your goal down, it makes it more real in your head and brings the idea into the real world, and it's very important that you do this. So just to recap, keep your goal written down, clearly defined, easily measurable, something that is achievable for you, and a goal that is made for you and not to impress someone else, as well as being on a realistic timescale. I've made a handy goal setting action plan that you can download in the description below. And if you really want to set goals and crush them effectively, you can use this action plan more than once to make it more manageable. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.